Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. This is Revell. And this week I'm going to feature a build of mine that's kind of old now. It's hard for me to believe that I finished this in 2008 and that this model kit came out in 2000. I bought it in 2007, but I think it came out in 2004 or 5. I'd have to look at the box. I have another one lying around, but this is Revell's 66 Chevelle Wagon. And awesome kit. If you haven't built this kit, this is an awesome kit. And this one isn't exactly box stock. As you can see, I did a few things to it. This build has been well received here locally and when I have shown it, so I'm real curious on what you guys are going to think of it too. But as you guys know, I like alternate body styles. I love my muscle cars. I love my two-door coupes and sedans and whatnot, and even some of the oddball. I just really like the oddball stuff, fully loaded, but I love station wagons. So if you guys have seen my tour video, you know that I own a station wagon and grew up in station wagons. So station wagons do mean a lot to me because they're definitely a different car, and the longer I have it and the more I'm around it, you know, the more the stories pile up. I got tons of stories of driving my station wagon around and even growing up in it and rolling around in the back and doing the honk honk at semi trucks on trailers. I'm sure you guys have done that. I don't remember being in a baby seat growing up, but I mean that was the late 70s, early 80s. My personal car, which I grew up in, learned to drive in it, been in the family since 82. It's a 71 Fury wagon with a big block. It was born a 383 car. I've had a 400 in it. I blew up the 383, so I'm the reason the motor's gone. I've had a 400 in it and a couple of 440s now, but that car has been down for a few years now. It hasn't been running for 4 years. Haven't had the money to work on it. But also, if you've seen the tour video, my wife's car is a 71 Chevelle two-door. And this has a lot to do with that. And it's kind of funny because that's part of the personal attachment with this particular build. I'll show you some photos. I'll piece in a few photos of those cars. But her Chevelle, even though I built this in 2008 was when I finished it, and I showed it off. It actually won the club award for the station wagon theme, so this thing has won a couple of awards. And then a few years later, I took it to the Desert Scale Classic, and the club members have a different table, so we're not competing against each other. But everybody got to vote on our models, which is really cool. And I got the People's Choice Award for this one. So everybody who went to the Desert Scale Classic and cast a vote, this got the People's Choice Award. So I'm really happy with that, really pleased with that. This build, I was playing around with colors and ideas, and I love station wagons, and I like the modified vehicles. And so none of my real cars are actually stock. I figured if I were to build a station wagon, Chevelle station wagon, I was having fun with this, and this is how I would do it. And her car follows this quite a bit. If you notice, her car is blue and silver, although the stripes on the top are silver, and the car is blue. And at one time, I even thought about doing this red pinstripe, outlining the stripe, the little stripe on the outside of the SS stripes that are on her car. I thought about doing that in red, but this car predates before I even painted that. Hers I painted in about 2014. This model was done in 2010. But I even went so far as this thing has a gray interior. I hope you can see it. It has a gray interior and a black dash pad. The carpet's gray in the model, but her real car, and I'll throw a few photos of that too, has gray leather and suede interior, a gray suede headliner and sun visors, and a black dash and black carpet. And the door panels are gray. So it really mimics what I did here, even though I built this long before we had actually completely decided on the colors for that car. That's some of the personal attachment here with this car. I always think about a lot of the wagon stories growing up and being driving station wagons around. But as far as this Revell build goes, it's mostly out of the box. Great kit. Love this kit. Matter of fact, I got a second one, but I still haven't built that one because I don't really have a whole lot of vision. But the first thing people notice is this Cal Induction hood. It comes with the SS hood, and the other hood from the El Camino is the plain stock hood. This hood is not resin. I made this hood. Matter of fact, I got a lot of photos. I don't think I have any of the actual hood, but the center section of that That's actually from the AMT 69 Camaro SS convertible kit, one of their hoods. I cut the whole induction part out of it, and I grafted it right into this hood. So this is all plastic, and it's grafted in. And it came out awesome, because the only resin hood I could find at the time was like a 4-inch tall hood. And I saw that, but I didn't like it. I wanted a much more subtle, fairly stock inductions type hood. So I grafted this hood together and from 2 hoods, and it was kind of flimsy, but it came out awesome, and it hasn't cracked all these years, which I'm surprised. I mean, I don't take my models out much, but really happy with the way this hood came out. And then some of the other body mods I did to it, if you notice, no mirrors, no door handles. My real 71 Fury has no door handles. I shaved them off, so they're completely gone. The model kit has no roof racks or antenna. And then I left the tailgate handle because on a Chevelle, that's a manual handle. On my real station wagon, I shaved off because it was just a lock cylinder. There's no handle. But I do the same, shave off as much as I can. But I left some of the emblems, took the Malibu emblems off and just smoothed it out, but left the rockers and that stuff on it. The wheels are from the kit, although I lowered the front end a little bit more, so the front's lowered. And these are painted wheels. I ended up having to strip the wheels, so the trim rings are actually bare metal foil. They're no longer chromed, but I had a problem with the paint, and this one was kind of a bear in that area. I actually painted this thing, I think, 3 different times, and I got a ton of photos. So I'll graft a few in here, but at the end I'm going to post a lot of the photos so you can see a lot of the build as it was going. But I had some problems. I primed this thing gray. I used Tester's paint, matter of fact, one of my favorites here, Olds Engine Blue Metallic, which is what I used on the blue on this one. The gray section is an anthracite gray, I believe is what Tester's called it. I don't have a bottle of it anymore. It's pretty transparent, so I shot it over gray primer, and it also, for some reason, when I masked the red stripe, this red line is actually paint. And I got some photos of how I did that, where I painted the top blue. I tried to paint the gray, but there was a fade line. I didn't mask it off, and it showed through the gray. So I ended up stripping it, and then I painted the gray first, and then I painted the top half blue. And that came out good, and then I masked it, but when I pulled the masking tape off of the red, when I sprayed the red in there, it pulled the gray off. So there's a photo or two of that. And so I had to redo that, and then once it was done, repaint the lower section gray again. So I had a lot of work to do. And I clear coated this one, but it's not the real automotive clear. It's before I was doing that, but it is clear coated. And but she came out awesome. I love the way this thing came out. But I didn't do too much else to it, so mainly the hood, lowering the front, and shaving the handles off with the putty. And the rest of the interior is pretty much right out of the kit. I didn't do anything in there. I'd love to fill it with stereo equipment. And then the underside is all just right from the kit, detailed out, the exhaust and the wheels and the brakes. But this is a fun kit, and I'm definitely going to build another one. You know, like I've got the kit. I just don't know how I'm going to build it yet. But it's just a lot of personal attachment, a lot of personal things in this one, feelings for me. So I hope you guys like wagons. You've liked the other wagon I featured. I've done a few. I've got a few more in my stash. Got, you know, the Chevelle wagons. Just grab those when I can. And so I've got the 64 and the 65, and I got another 66 when it comes to Chevelle wagons. And I love Nomad wagons. But I miss driving my old wagon around, especially, you know, the big block and everything. But that one's going to get crazy. And I've actually entertained the idea of creating another channel for stories of my real cars and me working on my real cars, but I can't commit to it as I'm committed to this, and I don't think I'll be able to update that as often, and I don't have the money to put in that stuff right now. But, you know, all due time. But as, you know, subscribers grow and everything, it'll help with that too. But this one, personal favorite for mine for many different reasons, and one of the things that comes to mind driving a station wagon around is, you know, I've had it so long, driving it from high school and whatnot, when wagons were not cool, and the only people who wanted them for the big blocks or derbies, and then they started to become cool, and they're cool now. And then one of the things that I've humored myself many times driving it around is the amount of people that will come up to me as the owner, and they'll flat out say, and they say it like this. This is what cracks me up. They come up, "You don't see this every day." That always cracks me up because they're saying it to the one person who does see it every day. I realize they don't see something like this every day, but it's just hilarious to me when they come to me, "Man, you don't see these every day." I was like, "Yeah, I do." It's just kind of funny, and nobody means to. It's just one of those expressions that people say all the time, and it just cracks me up. But before I forget, I'll show you the big block. Nothing real fancy here. It's right out of the kit. The SS396 big block. Really cool. And the heater hoses and everything, that's right from the kit. I really didn't do anything detail wise to this. That's all right how Revell makes it. But it's a great kit. So if you like Chevelles and you like station wagons, you find this kit, grab it. I do know it came out in 2004 and it was reissued one more time in 2013, I believe it was, with a different decal, but it's the same kit. And highly recommend it. Great build. Build's really easy. Sweet to modify. I really enjoyed it. So it's a fun kit. Even though I had some paint issues, but it was mainly me just having some real trouble painting the paint and two-tone paint, because I hadn't done a whole lot of custom paint jobs like this. But I wanted to see if I can do it and how it would come out. And it's been well loved. Every time I've taken it out or brought it to a club meeting or a show, it's gotten a lot of attention. But I don't get to a whole lot of shows. But I figured you would enjoy this. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing. I really appreciate it. And stay to the end of this. I'm going to have a slideshow of all the pictures of me building this, because there are quite a few. And I do appreciate it, and all the comments and the subscriptions. And I hope you really enjoyed this, and I will see you next Saturday.